Okay, so this tutorial is about the triad. The triad is what you call the three-note chord. In other words, the triad is a chord which only has three notes. A chord can have three or more notes which are played at the same time. So in other words, if I play 1, 2, 3 notes at the same time, I'm playing a chord, but in this case, since there are only 3 notes, it is specifically a triad. So a triad is a type of chord which only has 3 notes. Of course, there are other types of chords. You have chords that involve 1, 2, 3, 4 notes. And in that case, this would be a seventh. Now, where do they get their names? Well, this is based on the fact that, let's say I'm playing a C chord. So C would be considered the root or the first degree of the scale from which the chord is being built. So in other words, we know that the musical alphabet has A, B, C, D, E, F, G, A, B, C, D, E, F, G, which play throughout the keyboard. Now, so in this case, I'm playing a C. You could say that in order for me to play a chord, I'm skipping a note. So from C, I skip D to E, I skip F to G, right? So hence, chords are built in thirds. In other words, every other note is a third. Okay, so 1, 2, 3, right? Then you skip, and then you go to the next one, another third, and then another third. So in this lesson, we're talking about triads, but just for an overview, let's talk about the other chords. So let's say you have 3 notes, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So these 3 notes, right, give us a triad. Now, if I want to continue and add more notes, I have to skip yet one more note. 1, 3, 5, 7. In other words, 7 notes away from the root. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So this chord is called a seventh chord because it's 7 notes away from the root. Okay? Hence 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So if I skip again, now I'll be skipping the 8 to go to the 9. Remember, chords are built in thirds. So 1, 3, 5, 7, 9. So this would be called a ninth chord. Right? So if I wanted to build even further, and then I would have to skip the 10th to go to 11. So now 1, 5, 3, 7, 9, 11. And so now this would be called an 11th chord. Right? And then I can go even further. I can skip the 12th and go to 13th. 1, 5, 3, 7, 9, 11, 13. Now I'm playing a 13th chord. So then you ask, can I go further to 15th? Well, if I try to go to 15, you'll find that 15 is the same as 1. So therefore, that would be redundant. So the highest you can go is 13. 1, 3, 5, 7, 9, 11, 13. Right? But if you notice, 9, 11, and 13 are the same as what we skipped here, the 2nd, the 4th, and the 6th. So when you think of the 9th, you think of the 2nd. The 11th, you think of the 4th. The 13th, you think of the 6th. Because in fact they are the same. It's just that if you were to play them all together, that would be a noise. Okay? But when you extend them and skip every other note, it sounds more musical, right? Okay. So now that you have an overview as to how chords are built, which is in thirds, and you also know that the highest you can go is 13th. Now let's go back to the focus of our lesson, which is what the triads are. Okay, so the triad is a 3-note chord, and now we're going to we're going to play triads based on the for instance, if you look at the notes here, the PowerPoint presentation, right? Chords are built in thirds, right? And for example, the C chord, which I just showed you, okay, is composed of C, E, G, right? C, you skip D to E, you skip F to G. So that's your C chord. More specifically, C major chord. But okay, so this is the C chord, C, E, G, right? So in order to play that chord, I have to skip D and F, right? Because I want the root, the third, and the fifth to give me my triad, right? Okay. So now, in order to illustrate, we're going to play 5 notes in order. So now, what I want you to familiarize yourself with is the sound of basically the 5 notes from which you play the root, the third, and the fifth as you progress towards the union scale. Okay, so let's go. Do, re, mi, fa, sol. Do, mi, sol. Okay, in this case in the key of C, right? C, D, E, F, G, C, E, G, right? Re, mi, fa, sol, la. Re, fa, la. Which in this case is D, E, F, G, A, D, F, A, right? Mi, fa, sol, la, ti, mi, sol, ti, which in this case is the E minor chord, E, F, G, A, B, E, G, B. Fa, sol, la, ti, do, fa, la, do. In this case, F, G, A, B, C, F, A, C, right? Sol, la, ti, do, re, sol, ti, re. Again, in this case, G, A, B, C, D, G, A, B, C, D, G, B, B, right? La, ti, do, re, mi, la, do, mi. Okay? That will be A, B, C, D, E, A, C, E. That's the A minor chord. Ti, do, re, mi, fa. Ti, re, fa. Here I'm playing B, C, D, E, F, B, D, F, and here this is the B diminished chord, right? And then back to since we're in the key of C, back to C. Do, re, mi, fa, sol, do, mi, sol, which is C, D, E, F, G, C, E, G. Okay, so you've learned that a triad is composed of 3 notes. You also learned that a triad is a chord. It's a type of chord which only has 3 notes. You've also learned that there are other types of chords which are called 7th, 9th, 11th, and 13th, and you cannot go any further. Okay? And then you've learned that as you're playing the 5 notes starting from the first degree of the scales, the first degree being in this case the key of C, C, D, E, F, G. You've also learned that in solfege it should be called do, re, mi, fa, sol, right? And then when you play the root, the third, and the fifth, you're playing do, mi, sol. Now you also learn that as you go to the second degree of that scale of C, that would be D, and of course in solfege that would be also re. Re, mi, fa, sol, la, re, fa, la. And then that would be D, E, F, G, A, D, F, A. So first let me illustrate in solfege, and then I will actually let me first illustrate using the actual key names, and then we'll illustrate in solfege. So we have C, D, E, F, G, C, E, G. So that's your C major, right? Okay. Then you have D, E, F, G, A, D, F, A. Then you have E, F, G, A, B. Then you have E, G, B, right? So that's your E minor. Before that you had your D minor. So you have C major, D minor, E minor. Okay? And just to let you know, the first degree of the scale, right, that gives you a natural major, a happy sound. The fourth degree will give you also a major. The fifth degree will give you a major, which has happy sound. Whereby the second degree of the scale, when you play it as a chord, gives you a minor, okay, which is more of a sad sound. The second, the third, and the sixth give you a minor, okay, and then the seventh give you a diminish. In another lesson, in fact, in previous lesson, I mentioned the structure of the union scale. I also mentioned major, what constitutes a major and a minor chord or triad, and so you could refer to that video which talks about major and minor chords or triads in this case. Okay then, so let's continue. C, D, E, F, G, C, E, G, that's our C major. D, E, F, G, A, D, F, A, that's your D minor. E, F, G, A, B, E, G, B, that's E minor. F, G, A, B, C, F, A, C, that's F major. That's a fourth degree. 1, 4, 5 are major. Then you have G, A, B, C, D, G, B, D. That's your G major. Now we're going to a sixth degree. A, B, C, D, E, A, C, E. That's A minor. And then the seventh, B, C, D, E, F, B, D, F, and that's diminish. Okay, which is even sadder than sad. Okay, and back to the seventh, which is also the same as the 1. C, D, E, F, G, C, E, G. Now, in solfege, this will be do, re, mi, fa, sol, do, mi, sol. The second degree, re, mi, fa, sol, la, re, fa, la. Third degree, mi, fa, sol, la, chi, mi, sol, chi. Fourth degree, fa, sol, la, chi, do, fa, la, do. Fifth degree, sol, la, ti, do, re, sol, ti, re. Sixth degree, la, ti, do, re, mi, la, do, mi. Seventh degree, ti, do, re, mi, fa, ti, re, fa. And then back to the first degree, do, re, mi, fa, sol, do, mi, sol. Okay, so this completes our lesson on the triad.